YouTube. Wow, do we have a game for you guys this Saturday? Oh my god, it's the Champions League final. It is fast arriving. It is Liverpool versus Real Madrid in Kiev. It's the final of the Champions League, and we have some discussion on our hands right this second. So let's swiftly get into all the little fine details. I'm going to be talking and going through with you guys, or in this room right now, myself pretty much. So let's start. Let's just switch on to my tactics screen, and we're going to start off with the tactics board, and we're going to go in and name our starting lineups, our formations, and we're going to talk a few tactics. I reckon this video may be about half an hour to 45 minutes long. Unfortunately, I will try and keep it shorter than that, but enough with the waffle. Let's go into the team. So first of all, in goal, obviously we're going to play Carrius. Carrius will start. Left back, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Robertson as per usual. And in the middle, left centre back, don't be surprised if you don't see this kid swap with Lovren certain times during the game, and I will be explaining why shortly once all the teams are set up and we are ready to rock and roll with further tactics. Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, Wijnaldum right centre midfield, Henderson central midfield, and then Milner left side of midfield. Through the middle, as you know, Firmino, Salah, our Egyptian king here, and then we have Mane, our warrior, left wing. So on to Madrid. Obviously he deserves the caps. I will give him straight caps. Ronaldo, and then we possibly will see Bale or Benzema. I'm gonna keep it as Bale. Then we're gonna go with Isco on the left, Modric right midfield, and then we're gonna go with Kroos, and then we're gonna go with no, I'm not gonna go with shit, Casemiro. Hopefully he's shit come Saturday and plays shit. And then we're gonna go with what's his name, Carvahal, Marcello, Varane, Ramos, and then we're gonna go with Varane, and in goal, Navas. Anyway, you'll have Trent Alexander-Arnold up and down the wings, into Wijnaldum, who's supplying to Salah, one of our lines. If you've been watching all my other videos, I've been telling you about the reason why Salah hasn't been performing of late and found himself back on track and back in form with goals against Brighton, or a goal against Brighton rather. And I explained to you why I felt like he'd gone off the boil against Stoke and a couple other teams. So go through those videos and check them out, and you'll see where I've highlighted and what I feel like the reason was. Mane has been consistent in all those games while Salah was off the boil, and again explains why that was the situation and why I believed that happened. So without further ado, let's continue. We're going to talk about our formation in relation to Madrid's formation, what I feel like Madrid will be doing. I think Madrid are likely to start with this team. It's a 4-4-2 formation. Marcello tends to get right up and down, so he's further advanced. He's more attacking than defending. He does lack defensive ability, which is good for us. Carvahal is generally the one that kind of backs up Varane at times, and he doesn't bomb forward as much, but he does get forward. I personally don't think Carvahal or Marcello are the greatest fullbacks defensively, to be honest. I think Marcello is an exceptional attacking wingback. Carvahal, I think he's quite standard going forward, and I don't think he's great going backwards, but I do think he's better than Marcello going backwards. If we're going to go one-on-one with our fullbacks, I think Robertson defensively and probably attacking. Defensively, I believe Robertson is better than Carvahal. He could well be on a par in an attacking sense, but Robertson's surging runs of late, like for instance against Palace, against Brighton, getting into the box, his quality of crossing, I've watched a fair few games with Carvahal, and I'm not sure I see that same kind of that mountainous drive into opposing boxes and areas, and that kind of danger aspect. I just haven't seen it. So I'm going to give him the edge over Carvahal in an attacking sense. Attacking wise, Marcello is without a doubt better than Trent going forward. Although Trent has a very good free kick in him, as you've seen in this campaign, but I do think Trent is better defensively when the two do come head to head. In terms of Trent and Marcello, I do believe Marcello is the better attacking wing back without a shadow of a doubt. His outside of the boot cross into Ronaldo for the header in Real Madrid's last game against Villarreal over the weekend was awesome, was immense. What did Villarreal have to really play for? Not much, apart from it was at home, probably wanted to put on a decent performance, and actually they did. They probably maybe should have even stole it, but saying that, Madrid had chances too. You know, Madrid wanted second place. Villarreal had already qualified for Europa, were unable to catch fourth and steal a Champions League qualification place or Champions League place. I can't remember whether you have to qualify or you're straight in it now, or if that's even changed, come to think of it. I'm not sure. So, magnificent play from Marcello. He's been fantastic during this Champions League campaign too. Defensively, I do think Trent has the edge over Marcello, without a doubt. One of the goals that Villarreal scored was because Marcello was pulling his hair back or combing his hair or doing something in that left back position. He was kind of asleep and he got caught offside. The rest is, as you know, Madrid conceded. Yes, you continue to do that in the Champions League final, Marcello lad, and I will be very, very pleased with you, son, without a doubt, without an absolute doubt. Defensively, I do believe he's better than Salah. Better than Salah. Of course he's better than Salah. Better than Marcello. He's been up against El Shaarawy, been up against Sane twice, Porto winger, I can't remember his name. It's gone, I can't remember his name. You know, Trent's been really consistent, whereas Marcello hasn't been that consistent in the league. As you know, Real Madrid had a really bad start. They was languishing down in 6th and 5th. They have managed to claw their way up into 3rd place, just behind Atletico, with Barcelona being the champions. A really interesting matchup. I feel like at times we may see situations occurring where we have Marcello in here meeting one-on-one with Trent. Ronaldo also tends to hover around here. What we might see is this at times, VVD swap with Lovren, just to kind of give a little backup into Trent Alexander-Arnold. Ronaldo does move, go to the back post, he'll go to the near post, he'll come central. Personally, we shouldn't be conceding a header to Ronaldo. I think we have, the Premier League is full of, it's about the headering game, defensive headers, sometimes parking the bus and grinding out results. I will not be, as good as a header as Ronaldo is, I do not expect to concede a header to Real Madrid. I just don't. Yes, they're capable. Bale also is capable of a header. I think these guys are going to be deployed for mainly counter-attacking football. If we're going to stop them from headering, I believe down these sides, and Robertson and Mane, I'm not even worried about. I do not think Carvahal is going to even get anywhere down, even close to crossing the ball in. I just don't. He's not as good as Marcello, and also he's got strong Robertson and Mane. Nobody this season has got down that side. Nobody. It is, and Milner. It is literally like a fucking brick wall. Like no one is getting down there. So I'm not worried about that side. This is probably the side I'm worried more about. At the same time, here's a situation I'm going to rise again now, is even though Marcello is bombing down there, it does leave Salah open. This I think can work both ways. Although they have Marcello and Ronaldo down this side here, we also have Salah who can run in behind here. And the thing is, Isco doesn't stay on the left side. Isco floats and he changes it into this formation. So as you can see here, you have Isco will be here, you have Ronaldo, Bale. In fact, while I'm on this, let me just quickly fill in this. We have Isco. You can skip forward, guys, if you want a couple seconds. Right, so I hope you're back with me, guys. So now I've got this part done. As I was saying before, Ronaldo, Isco and Bale, they kind of, Isco drifts from this left side and he comes in, and your centre pairing of Kroos, Casemiro, they move across and they create a free. Modric comes in off the right wing and he makes the free when they're attacking. When they are defending, Isco drops to the left, Modric moves across, they shuffle, so they have a flat four and a four at the back, and they usually go with a, so what happens then is basically Isco goes out to the left, you have the four across, you have the four at the back, and then you have Ronaldo, and Bale usually just drops in here and Ronaldo is left up top on his own, and it's a 4-4-2 formation. Obviously Isco, Kroos and Casemiro move across to Modric, so you know it's even spaces, and I'm just being a bit OCD. So as you can see, I am a little bit scared of this front three, but remember, this front three does not operate like how our front three operates. Isco does not operate like Firmino. He doesn't play a striker role. He has to be careful about this side here. He has to be careful. In this diagram, he's not there. So there's lots of space here because he drifts in and he leaves Marcello. Right? So this is going to be fantastic in my opinion for Salah and Wijnaldum to find the space here. And I hope Klopp is doing this kind of homework right now. And you could even argue, when they do go back into the 4-4-2 formation, Modric is here. Like Modric is, you know, when they are defending, right, or even from a counter attack, when they do go into a 4-4-2 a defensive setup, when was Modric ever a right midfielder? When was he ever a right midfielder? These guys, Modric may do the same as Isco. He may start floating in and around, and Kroos and Casemiro, but they don't play out and out as wingers, so they come inside. But in fairness, I think I would quite like that, because our midfield, you're going right through the centre of our defence, where we have, you know, Mane tucks in a little bit, Robertson tucks in, Trent will tuck in, Wijnaldum tucks in, Firmino is coming, like Firmino's back, and then obviously our outlet, you know, even Salah, we won't, he'll be our outlet. These midfielders will just move across anyway and fill the void here, but it will all be tight. So if they want to play through the middle, I'm content with that, you know. And when we counter attack, we're just going to go boom down the sides, you know. So we have to, I think Modric is key. I don't think Modric has that right-left midfielder work rate, or right midfielder. Modric versus Mane? Are you for real? Seriously? Man, Modric versus Mane. Even Robertson, like, in my opinion, Robertson and Mane versus Modric and Carvahal, that's not even a match. It really isn't. You saw Carvahal against Juventus in the semi-finals. He was ridiculous. It was actually ridiculous. It was 3 headers in the back post. We need to look at that. Trent can get a ball in to that back post. Get Mane and Robertson in there. Modric and Carvahal. I'm telling you, Modric and Carvahal are something to look at. I'm going to go into a bit more on Carvahal and Mane in a little while. But just to jump back onto, as you know, Isco does float around, and he will leave Marcello quite vacant as he drifts into the middle, as I've mentioned. So Salah and Trent Alexander-Arnold have to be aware of that, because it will be key for Salah to get in and around. I just pray to God that Ronaldo just doesn't see the ball. We are just cutting off the supply from Kroos. Kroos is the one who starts the counter attacks. Like the balls into Bale and Ronaldo after they break up our counter attack. This guy, Kroos, must be pressed. If he has the ball and we lose it and he picks it up, we have to press him so quickly, not give him no time, shut off the angles, definitely, because he is the one that will just ping in the ball. Maybe Ronaldo gets in here, or Bale on this side, or Asensio, or even Vasquez if they're on. You have Asensio, Vasquez, you know, Bale, Ronaldo. They do have a decent amount of pace up top, but then, you know, we have pace in defence. We have Robertson, Trent is fast, and VVD is fast also. Lovren ish so, but hey ho. Watching Kroos is very key for those counter-attacks from Real Madrid. And then Modric will be like a De Bruyne or a Silva. Those sort of players don't particularly do well against Liverpool for some reason. I think it's just because of our energy and no time, and the pressure kind of throws them off the goals. Those players are pretty players. They like time on the ball. They like everything in their way. They don't like the rough and ready. Where Kroos, Casemiro, they're a bit more rough ready, got a bit more fight, a bit more drive. They don't get sad because they're getting kicked about a little bit and go off the boil and forget how to play football. They get stuck in it. It makes them even more kind of like, oh yeah, let's do this kind of thing. It makes them, it fires them up. Modric isn't really like that. In my opinion, he isn't. And nor is Isco. Those pretty players, they don't like to be kicked and hustled and rushed. They like to look, they want time on the ball and they want to be pretty. Definitely think those two are quite key on winning the battle along the lines. Centrally, Kroos and Casemiro. I think Kroos is world class. I think Kroos is better than Wijnaldum. I think Kroos is better than Milner. I think Kroos is better than Henderson. Some people say, oh, different positions. Shut up. Shut up. I would take him. I probably would take him over any of those three. In fairness, Casemiro, don't know. I think he's probably Henderson level. I don't rate him too highly. Fernandinho is better. Jorginho is better than Casemiro, in my opinion. But he's the dog work. He does the same job that Henderson does. I think Henderson. I've monitored Henderson to some levels, and I think Henderson, although saying that, I haven't monitored the way Casemiro plays in that role as such. But yeah, so I can't really make a judgment who's better in it. We're about to see at the end of the Champions League final when the result comes in, I guess. I'm hoping it will be on most occasions a 3-on-2 situation. Wijnaldum and Milner pressing the hell out of Kroos and Casemiro, not giving them no time, causing mistakes for Salah. Even Salah, Firmino also pressing Kroos and Casemiro. Klopp will be doing all his work and research anyway. As for Dejan Lovren, this could be pretty interesting for Dejan Lovren, because Lovren is going to be up against Ronaldo on more occasions than not. When Ronaldo is in this 4-4-2 formation, he tends to not be wide so much. He tends to not really be down along here. He tends to get into the box and do nothing, to be honest. Kind of waits for a supply. If it's that formation, I don't expect to see him much out here. You very rarely see him here now under Zidane and running down here doing this. He kind of gets himself back post or front post or in and around the penalty spot area. Not even on the edge. He's always in the area. He is like a Harry Kane on drugs. He used to pick up the ball here and like run, dribble, twist man, beat them, get around them and do all that. You don't do that no more. Maybe it's where his age, his game style has changed, and he is literally get in the box, and finish. He is a Harry Kane on anything that man can take, pretty much. That's kind of how I see him as a player now. I think he's skinning a player, beating a player days are pretty much over. In my opinion, he was never a Messi where he went around, 2, 3, 4 man and then pops it in the net. At Manchester United, there was a fair few games, but if you look at his show reel, it was never like, it was always one, maybe 1 or 2 if he's lucky. It was never 3, 4. Messi's was just got some sick, crazy goals on his show reel of that magnitude, that type. For me, Ronaldo's more of an in-the-box striker. So, if he wants to get in the box and we can stop any sort of crosses coming in, that's a bonus. If we're playing the other kind of formation where Isco tucks in and they're attacking, Bale tends to go out more wide than Ronaldo does. In this formation, it's Ronaldo will get into the box and Bale might be on the wing. Ronaldo's getting into the box. Bale's got the ball for the crossing. This is kind of how it usually works. And if it's somebody else, maybe it's a Marcello who's going to cross the ball in. You'll see Bale in there, or Benzema, whoever's playing, and Ronaldo with Marcello. Lovren and VVD versus Ronaldo and Bale on a Marcello cross could really be quite worrying. I think it's really important that we stop these crosses, man. I don't want to see those two in the box and a cross coming in like this. I really don't. Because it's basically 2-on-1. As much faith I would love to put in Lovren, I just feel like it would be VVD against Bale and Ronaldo majority of the time. that is sort of how I feel like Ronaldo will attack us in that formation. So onto Mane and Carvahal. As I said from earlier on, I do believe the game could be won here. I think it's important Mane gets in and attacks Carvahal. You know, gives him some real defending to do in this match. And also Robertson with the overlap. I definitely think these two here, Robertson and Mane, can definitely get the better of Modric and Carvahal. I really do think they can create something. I think they're better defensively, and I think they're better in an attacking sense as well. So in this formation, the 4-4-2 formation, they're more defensive formation where Bale kind of drops in here and Ronaldo is up top on his own, or the 4-4-1-1, whatever you want to call it. Again, like in the 4-3-3, I believe Mane and Robertson are vital. Whatever formation they play, they're still going to have Modric and Carvahal on that side, and I think that's a particular weakness of an area. I feel like their formation fits us. You know, Isco, as I mentioned earlier, Isco will go inwards to try and even it up in the middle like a 3-on-3. So we have to be aware of that. But which in Isco going inwards will leave Salah one-on-one with Marcello, and this could be dangerous, especially if we are gonna have Trent overlapping, maybe, or vice versa with Salah. Salah tends to not go wide. Salah likes to come in across here. It's probably going to be maybe like this, Trent on the overlap. I definitely think we can definitely get to them in the left back and right back areas. I really think so, because Isco, much like Modric, is he going to trap back there? I don't know. I think he'll probably leave it for like a Kroos to cover, and the same with Modric. Maybe Modric leaves it for a Casemiro, but then that leaves them one short in midfield. It means that these guys have to get back and cover in there for whoever's gone out, whether it's Casemiro or whether it's Kroos. Which then, I guess, you know, you have Wijnaldum, Hendo and Milner against Isco and Modric. Physically, I don't think Modric and Isco actually stand a chance. And if you want to talk physical, you probably want Casemiro and Kroos there instead of Isco and Modric. It was a similar pattern to, in my opinion, Manchester City when they had De Bruyne and Silva. City fans or other football fans, you may disagree, but I don't think Silva and De Bruyne were the most physical, which was why Pep wanted to bring in Gundogan next to Fernandinho in a few of the matches and left Silva out, etc, etc, etc. That's exactly why he done it. So whether you agree or not, or you think I'm talking shit, it is what it is. Opinions are everybody's opinion, and for me, Isco and Modric do not stand a physical chance against R3 in the middle, whether it's Wijnaldum, Hendo or Milner, or whether it's two of them, Wijnaldum and Milner because Hendo's sitting back, or Hendo and Milner because Wijnaldum's sitting back. Whoever it is, Kroos and Casemiro stand much more of a chance of winning that battle in the midfield. So we would want them to be the central pairing. Madrid would want them to be the central pairing, protecting their defenders. But as I said, if Isco and Modric don't get back to cover the overlaps, and Mane, Trent, Alexander and Salah, they're going to be in big shit. I'm telling you, they are going to have some major problems in and around here. And I think this is probably the best way around. There's been a lot of talk of Ramos man marking Salah, or, you know, staying tight to Salah when Salah comes in. It's really not as simple as that, because you then have Bobby Firmino who's here one-on-one with Varane. In fairness, Marcello should be marking Salah. I think Ramos and Varane will swap man marking Firmino. Firmino will be their worry. But again, you have Mane and you also have Salah. It will be interesting to see where the game is won and lost. Bale's role will be interesting. He will be like a counter-attacking option. Benzema could also come on and cause some problems. Not really sure who I would rather, Benzema or Bale. I got a funny feeling. I think I'd rather Benzema, because I think Van Dijk, I think regardless who Van Dijk is against, headering, Bale, Ronaldo, Benzema, I think Van Dijk would win. If he's one-on-one and the ball is coming to him and it's him versus Ronaldo or him versus Bale or him versus whoever, Benzema, I think VVD wins. If the ball goes over him, then yes, and he misses it, then yes, obviously Ronaldo gets on the end of it, or Bale does, or Benzema does. But if it's a 50-50 ball, VVD, that's where my money's going all day long. Lovren, I don't know. You know, VVD is 99%, Lovren is 50-50. Bale's a tall lad, physical, you know. Ronaldo's just mastered the art. I think if any of them will lose out to Lovren in a header or a 50-50 headering situation, it will be Benzema. Maybe I'd like to see Benzema start. Real Madrid's team against Villarreal, a lot of people were saying was, you know, like a test run for the team he's going to put out against Liverpool in the Champions League final. I'm not so sure. He started with Ronaldo, who got through the match fit because of a little ankle niggle he'd recently picked up, but he's fit and firing. So he took him off and he brought on Benzema and left Bale on. I don't think Bale came off, which means he played the whole game. If I can remember correctly, he played the whole game, and therefore he played the whole game because he may not feature against Liverpool. And Benzema came on because Benzema needed to keep up his form, and he didn't want Ronaldo getting injured or Benzema getting injured if they were playing the whole game, if that makes sense. So if Benzema's playing the whole game, there's more risk of him being injured, likewise to Ronaldo. But if they both play, you know, I don't know, one of them plays 20 minutes and the other one plays the rest, then obviously both of them are less likely to get injured. Ronaldo needed the time because of being out for a little while, a couple games, or was it a game or two, or whatever it was. And then again, Benzema to come on, touch the ball, keep his form. So I got a funny feeling that Benzema could start, but I think Zidane will go with Bale and then bring Benzema on, because that's what teams usually do with the big man. Usually bring on the big man if things are going wrong at the end or they want to change it or something. So I think the starting lineup will be Bale and Ronaldo, but I would be happy to see Benzema. I think it's one less person that's running at our defence if they spring a counter attack. It is literally just roll on Champions League, roll on Liverpool, up the Reds. Let's get this 6th trophy in the bag. Champions League, 6 times champions. You never walk alone. I have been Red Mist, the LFC Ninja. This is the Champions League final preview, match preview. Liverpool versus Real Madrid. Come on, you Reds. Come on!